Thank you.
And the crowd goes wild. Welcome to the Battle at Beacon Hill, a US Am Tour event at Stonebridge Ranch in McKinney. This is a stroke play event, individual play, and I brought the camera along to see how I play. The range was closed, it's rained for days, it's been super wet, so that was my first shot of the day, but a pretty good drive, 300 yards down the middle, left me this little wedge into a tucked right pin. Put a good swing on it there.
Thank you.
Left myself about 15 feet on the first hole. Not bad for coming in cold without really hitting a golf ball. You can see the course is pretty saturated. It was cool and wet and still drizzling when we started the round. It turns into a beautiful day by the end though. Just under red that one, never high enough. I'm a big fan of easy pars on the first hole.
Knock it in there. Oh, to knock it in there.
So easy par on to hole number 2, which is a short par 4 downhill. On a normal day it might be drivable, but today with as wet as it is, really just a wide fairway, trying to lay up, getting a good position for the second shot. Wanted a little more draw than that, but right side of the fairway. Good look to a downhill green. When you're not committed to a shot, it's always good to back off. In this case, it's wet. My eyes were watering because it is cold and a little windy. So reset, clear the eyes, get your mind in a good spot. I also had just seen Chris hit his ball all the way down the hill to the back of the green, which is going to be a difficult putt. So I'm trying to realign how far I need to hit this.
You scared me.
I just didn't quite get to the green. Left it right here on the front edge. We were playing it up, ball in hand, with as wet as it was. I like to walk off my putts, 1, to get a feel for just how far the putt is, but 2, in this case, to try to get an idea of what the green does after you get to the green. Is it uphill or downhill? Which way is it going to break? This was kind of a tricky putt because the first third of it is kind of up and over this little hill before it flattens out. So you drop down the hill and it flattens out. You can see the low point to the left. That's what I expected it to break towards, but it was pretty flat, so it just really didn't move. Left myself about 3 feet for the par. Easy par. Good start. The third hole at Stonebridge Ranch is a nice little par 5, kind of dog legs around these bunkers with a creek on the right hand side. It's a typical die design where it's trying to bait you into hitting it to the left, but there's a lot more room to the right than you can see. Knowing that, I aligned more to the right than I have in the past and piped one down the middle. Second shot, green's tucked around that creek. It was about a 220 carry to the front of the green. I got more than enough club with the 3-wood. Just got to commit to hitting it that far right when it looks like there's nothing but death over there.
Quit.
Couldn't do it.
Stop.
However, that is the good miss. The left-hand side is where you can get up and down and have a chance.
I think that's all right.
Block that to the right, and it's a longer carry with trees and a creek. Downhill chip. Landed just short. Let it trundle all down the hill. Greens are fast, smooth, really good shape. Left myself about 5 feet for birdie. I didn't like my alignment at first. I've been using a line recently. I feel like it helps me to understand if I'm hitting the ball in the line that I'm reading it and commit to the line. So I'm learning about my putting by doing that. In this case, I didn't like the line, so I adjusted it more to the left. That was a mistake. It's actually a pretty straight putt. You can see how fast the greens are. I barely hit that. Just leaves myself, good 3 feet back for par. You certainly don't want to make a mistake early. Easy par. No harm done.
Yeah, adjusted that line back to left a little bit at the end and then pulled it ever so slightly.
The fourth hole turns around and goes back kind of into the wind. Got bunkers on the right. It kind of S-curves around these trees, which tends to always bait me into hitting it left. So this time I'm taking a line more to the right, committing to it. Rope to draw right down the middle. I think that's the first time I've ever hit this fairway in about 5 attempts. The pin was tucked back right on the green, just a little wedge in. Again, the ground's really wet, so hitting all these wedges is a little nerve-wracking because they're really easy to hit fat. Not a lot of room behind the pin, so trying to be careful of going long. And I just didn't commit to hitting it long enough. Left it a little short, a little heavy.
Maybe a little heavy with it being wet, but great start. Stay patient, keep playing well.
Got a little over 30 feet in for birdie, kind of down the hill. Again, greens are rolling really good, but they are slick. You can see the wind picking up, whipping the flag. Really the first long putt I've had on the green, so need to be careful with pace. Thought I had it. That looked real good about 6 feet out.
Oh, I just died. Back on video.
Easy par.
Get that closer than that spot.
Easy par, I can't complain. It looked really good about 6 feet out, and it just cut across the hole there at the end. Fifth hole, par 3. It's only playing about 150 yards. Trying to hit a little 8-iron.
Spin left. Alright. Good shot. Let's try to draw up there. Yeah.
Left myself about 13 feet. Looks like a pretty straight putt up the hill. Not a lot to it. Just gotta get it started. Hit it hard enough to get there.
Pretty good lag, bud.
Underwhelming. Good opportunity, not even getting into the hole. That's always disappointing. But another par.
Alright, now you're back up. It was a cool hole. It was a good tee shot.
Had a little GoPro error there, so you didn't see the tee shot, but I smoked a 3-wood down the right-hand side, middle of the fairway. Good look. Again, just a sand wedge in, playing around 100 yards. Pins in the front right. This is painting the flagstick. A little bit of spin on it.
You will take that. Yes, sir.
Yeah, so it hit just past the pin, rolled back. Just got 8 feet here for birdie, but you can hear that wind whipping, see the flag moving. Makes putting a little tougher, especially on these really quick greens.
That feels completely different.
If you're not comfortable, reset. It's easier said than done. A lot of times you just want to race and hit the putt. But if you're not committed, it at best is going to lead to a bad putt.
Right.
Glad I readjusted.
Good stroke there, good birdie. Good to get one on the board. 7th hole's a par 5. Not a super long one, a good drive. I'll have a chance to get there in 2. Just got to avoid the bunkers on the left. It's pretty wide open on the right hand side, especially with the rough being dormant this time of year. That was pretty well struck.
Yeah.
Got myself in a good spot, just about 210 yards to the flag. Flag's just over that bunker, but typical Pete Dye, that bunker is actually 50 yards short of the green.
Oh, that was chicken. Stop. Kill the bunker.
Just couldn't commit to hitting that far right.
Where that went? It's left.
Well, not as aggressive as I wanted to be. Didn't stay down in it. Pulled it a little bit. So that's going to be left of the green. Hopefully landed soft. Nice little up and in for tweet tweet. Let's go.
Yeah, so it hit the grass. It did end up short. Landed really soft. So I'm just on the front edge of the green, just about 15 feet off of the front of the green. I got to land it right to where the green turns dark, and it should pretty much trundle on down to the hole. But the ground is wet and soggy, and I had a no bounce lob wedge in my hand. Caught the leading edge and just chunked it. So now I have the same shot again. Cool. Commit to it. I said that was a bad miss because I probably should have used less loft and something with some more bounce, particularly when it's this wet. It's just dangerous to hit the shot I just did into that hill, and I paid for it. So now I've got 5-6 feet to save par, which is not what you want when you are just off the green in 2. Birdie to now just hoping to avoid the bogey. See that wind whipping? It gets hard to read break. These greens are so fast. Commit to it.
Yes, great par.
I'm rolling my putter so good right now. Really feel confident with it. Hitting my lines, getting the speed right. 8th hole. Cool little par 3. The pin was actually tucked back right, which there's not a lot of green over there. Only 140 yards from the tees we were playing though, so little 9, choking it, trying to hit it soft, painting the flagstick.
Right.
That one's always nervy when it's in the air, I'll tell you that.
It comes down right next to the hole, and then you feel alright.
Yeah, then you can exhale a little bit. Unpuckered the butt cheeks.
I'll apologize for all the pig noises you're hearing. Both Chris and I had runny noses. It was cold and windy, and we were doing all we could just to not snot all over ourselves. Gross, but that's the way it was. Little 8-9 feet for birdie.
I think that was the win. Yeah.
Didn't help.
I lined it up, I looked at it, I said, that's slow.
Nah, commit to it. It was low.
Alright, 8th hole. Cool little hole, typical Pete Dye, where you've got the 9th hole that's a fade hole along the lake, and the 18th hole that's a draw hole on the other side. This is the tougher of the 2 tee shots for me. I tend to favor the left and pull it through the fairway.
I had to steer that one a little bit, Chris. I was late.
What'd you say?
Said I was late and I threw my hands at it. I had to steer that one back.
This is the shortest distance I've ever had into the 9th hole, usually because it plays into the wind. Today it didn't. but I only had about 165 yards to the hole. Hitting a little 7-iron here, trying to just get on the front left edge and let it trickle down to the hole.
If I need a chance, if I need some help.
And putting is good.
Putting is good. About 30 feet, so I didn't quite get it all the way back to the hole. This one's got a pretty good slope to it. Just get the pace right.
I want my nose to stop sniffling long enough for me to hit a putt.
Go!
That's a pretty good putt. Rolled it up there to about tap in distance. Always good to have an easy par on this hole. It is a brutally difficult hole.
Every day of the week on that.
4-3 for the group.
Hey, good bird, man.
Thank you.
So there you go. Easy little 1 under on the front 9. Really was never in trouble. I did have to make 2 par putts on the par 5s where I hit poor chips onto the green, or a poor putt on the case of the 3rd hole. So I gained strokes in all categories, total, driving, approach, and short game, with the exception of putting. And putting, I was almost flat. Again, if I'd have made that 5-footer on 3, I'd have been in even better shape. But yeah, strokes gained coming from V1 game. Pretty good start. Let's see how we finish. Got a good chance to win this golf tournament.